So I moved to LA from New Jersey about a year ago, and this is everything that I've learned being in the music industry out in LA. Is it worth it? Do you need to live here? Let's dive into all of it and just really get open and honest, because this is what nobody tells you about moving to LA for music. The number one thing that I would highly recommend before you actually move out here is have a plan and have somewhat of a network. It's never been easier than right now to find people that have like-minded genres, creative visions, personalities, vibes. It's never been easier to find those people than right now with social media. And if you could start connecting with people out here, FaceTiming, Zoom sessions, just generally vibing with these people, it's gonna make your life out here so much more at home, right? I was very lucky that I had like over 25 friends just from Zoom sessions and social media stuff before I even moved here. So right when I moved here, I got to meet all of them in person. When you have that network of people in place before you move to really any new city, especially for a creative endeavor, it just makes that transition a lot smoother than feeling like you're all alone. So the number one thing that I would recommend if you're gonna move to LA or even like Nashville, Atlanta, Miami, New York, if you're gonna move to any music city in America or even outside of America, London, Sydney, Paris, having that network in place and having those people that you can talk to before, get recommendations, what's a good area to live in, where should I not go, where should I go, where's the music industry stuff happening. All of that is a cheat code, and I know it seems so simple, but a lot of people just like want to rush the move and just get like any random job and not know anyone and just kind of send it. And like a lot of respect for those kinds of people, but that's not something I would recommend because it just feels a little bit unplanned and a little bit rushed. So yeah, have that network in place first of all. Second of all, understand that just because you're here, things aren't gonna magically happen, right? If you're not putting yourself out there on social media and in person in tandem, nothing's gonna happen for your career that couldn't have happened where your hometown is, right? So a lot of people, I think they move to music cities and they think just because they're here, things are magically gonna start happening, but that's really not true with any city. You've got to put yourself out there. Go to Jesse and Friends, Hotel Cafe, School Night. Like all of these singer-songwriter showcase and events are a great way to just get out there in the scene and meet people. And then on top of that, when you are staying active on social media and you have LA in your bio, other people from LA, oh, I like this person's sound, their vibe, their tone, whatever. I'm also in LA. We should meet up sometime and do a song together. And when you're out there in tandem, both on social media and in person, it gives you just a wider net of new people to meet and work with and just genuinely like jam with. But just moving here and thinking, oh, I'm in LA, like why aren't things happening for me? It's not, it's just a little bit like, a little bit of Hollywood fluff and buff, right? You've got to really just put in the work and network. So like I was just mentioning, you know, great events, Jesse and Friends, Hotel Cafe, It's a School Night. Like there's so many great events that you can find. We Found New Music where people get to perform. So if you're someone who's like in that singer-songwriter lane that wants to perform, you can perform there. If you want to just go and network, that's obviously, you know, what I would recommend and what I did when I first moved here. And through that process, you meet like-minded people, writers, producers, artists. You start working together. Maybe you don't work together, but you just become friends. But the more that you're out there, and the more that people can find you easily on social media and then connect the dots when you meet in person, it just builds your brand. And I know that sounds so fake LA, like, oh, your brand, like, but when you do have like a personal brand and you are active on social media like this, right? You have a feel for how I talk, how I speak, what my personality is, because you're watching this video right now. And when you can establish that, so it becomes a lot more like, oh, I feel like I know you, and vice versa, because they're posting content. It just makes the songwriting process together and the friendship gel a lot quicker and smoother, because that first jitters of like, oh, I wonder if we'll get along is kind of out the window, unless they're really fake in their online persona, which does happen, obviously. But I think, yeah, that's kind of the two major tips that I would give in terms of like moving to LA for music. Kind of what nobody tells you though is like what I was just touching upon, but if we go even deeper on that, like why doesn't just living in a music city make things happen for you, right? Like it's not easy. Almost everybody, especially when they first move here, have to get another job because it's expensive. Gas is crazy, rent's crazy, food's crazy. But when you have that kind of back against the wall moment where, you know, things have become real, your bills went up, you have a lot on the line, you moved across the country, across the world to be in a city where all of your dreams can come true, if the right steps are followed, that pressure is on, right? And under pressure, some people will break, some people will turn into diamonds. I know that like cliche saying. But like when there's that pressure on you, your back's against the wall, your bills went up, you know, are starting to just meet people for the first time, but you don't really have a solid network. That's going to really show you who you are, right? That's going to show you who you are inside and out in terms of, can you get this done? Can you make this a reality? Do you fold under the pressure, or do you rise above it and push through? And when you find all that stuff out about yourself, you grow as a person, as an artist, as a creative, and you're able to, you know, reach heights that you've never even thought possible because you got out of your comfort zone. You left your hometown and you put yourself in a place where it's real. It's real. And when you know, and they always talk about the energy of LA, right? But when you know that there's other people across the street, next door, down the street, that are working on songs or movies or projects that could become the next Harry Potter films franchise or the next Justin Bieber, you know, single. When you know that that's going on around you at all times, it elevates your sense of, wow, I can't just sit here and watch Netflix for the 3 days straight. I've got to make moves because people around me are making moves. And I think that's one of the big benefits when it comes to living out here, is knowing that there's people here right down the street that are going to impact the entertainment industry in major ways. And that can light that fire for some people that maybe would not be lit if they were somewhere else in the world to get the job done, right? So that's kind of the, you know, breakdown in terms of my experiences in LA. I would definitely say, like, come out here for a week minimum, but ideally 2 weeks, and hit all the different areas, the West Side, downtown, the Valley, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Hollywood area. Like, go everywhere, try to write, you know, do songwriting sessions, or even just kind of creative meetings, or grab coffee with people that you meet through social media in different areas. Kind of find what area your vibe is and what you kind of gel with on a day-to-day, because it's not easy to be like, oh, I'm going to live in Santa Monica, but, you know, my day job's in Koreatown. Like, that's not a fun commute. So kind of find your pocket of the city that, you know, you feel like you can really stay in for a long amount of time and not leave and be happy. Obviously you can leave, but like sometimes it's like, I just want to stay in my bubble for the week. So find your bubble that you know, enjoy. And then when you're here for those 2 weeks, you'll really find out, like, is this where I want to be? Yes or no? And if the answer is yes, the pressure's on and it's time to make moves. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. I'm doing 3 videos a week now, so we're really, really pumping you with a ton of free sauce and a ton of free value. Drop a comment, any thoughts, comments, concerns on this topic. Just hit me up and I'll answer all of them. And I'll see you next week. Peace.